Now, kids, if you got a keyboard or if you got a piano, anything to play on, then I have a little lesson cooked up for you, and I want to start to show you how to improvise. Like that's what I was doing right then. I was just making most of that up. In order to make something up, like a sentence, you have to have a vocabulary, and I'm going to teach you a vocabulary. When you start and you're real little, just a few years ago, when you were just came out and became a person, you didn't have any words. You could just go, Now you got a few words. You probably got a lot of them. At first, you learned just a couple of words. So I'm going to teach you a couple of words, and we can actually have a conversation, which is what improvisation is. And it's no mystery, and I'll show you how to do it. First of all, I'm going to put the camera over the keyboard so that you can see it. That'll take a second. So we are going to, I've programmed a little bass and drum so you have someone to play with, okay? And I'll explain to you as we go. Let me take care of this right now. I have to be my own tech person here. Okay, what we have is, let's see, let's unmute that. Let's unmute that. And this should make sound. It does. Okay. I actually slaved over this decision on what tempo to give you to make something that sounds fun to play as improvisation. And I kind of settled on this late 70s new wave thing, new wave beat, right? Okay. For right now, I'm going to leave you with the keyboard here, and I want you to find kitties. Okay, that is an A, right? Here's middle C. Got that? Let me see what key I did this in. I'm pretty sure, no, I did an A. Okay, so there's your A. You can play with whatever you want to. All you have to do is find an A, C, and let's do a third word. We'll give us 3 words. A, C, and G. Let's do those 3, okay? That's part of a blues scale. Those are your 3 notes, okay? So, you can use whatever finger you want to on whatever note. We're not going into that technique right now. You can do it that way if you want to, right? But we're going to start with an A. So, feel the space there on A. Got it? And I'm O. You're not talking to the mic at the moment. It's fine. Yes, right. You're right about that. Let's move the mic over here. Sorry. There. Is this better? Should be better. Just trying to make space for it. Okay. So there is your A, and that is the first note that we are going to have a discussion on. That is going to be our first word, okay? Now, meanwhile, give Uncle Ben 2 seconds to go grab a bent spoke beer, okay? Mortimer, you are not too old. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Kids, play after me, okay? It doesn't have to be in time right now or anything. I want you to play an A. You. Your turn. Your turn. Just keep it on there. Okay? That's all you have to do. Just play it back to me. It's going to get more fun after this. I swear. Play it back. Play it. Play it. Play it 2 times. 2 times. 2 times. 2 times. 2 times. 3 times. 3 times. Harder, isn't it? But you might be able to do it. That is enough to play on an album if that was your job, is just to play that. Now let me show you how this works in this little funny little lockdown rock that I have programmed into my I want you to play after me, okay? Only an A. the third note. That's the G. Okay. A, G, A, G, G, C, A, G, A, G, G, C, A, G, A, G, G, A, G, A. Still just a couple notes. Now I'll do it this way. That's an octave. Two of them together, mash them together. Now we can play any notes we want. See, that's just... Shut up, guys. All I'm doing there, had to hear the drummer. All I'm doing there is playing a couple of notes. It's just the way that I'm playing them. Got it? So check this out. And I'm not expecting kids to be able to do this, but this is only a couple notes. It's just I used to sit around all the time playing all those different combinations. It made me really, really happy just to play a couple of the notes, right? Okay, so remember when we did this? That's the devil horn thing, right? Okay, so it works on this really, really well. Go up high, way up here. See if you can find it. I'll give you a second. That's A and E. A and E, another one of those perfect fourths. It works good because when you change chords, those two notes together, a perfect fourth, have a way of being fairly likely to be tonally correct for you if you're playing tonal music, right? Okay, kids? So what you're gonna do is just that's it. We learned that before, but we learned it in this key of C. Now listen what that does for this. I ain't doing anything. I'm not doing anything. I'm just playing that. You can do this. And if you were playing with a band, you would sound like this. That I can start doing other things. I can go. And that might seem like super hard. It is actually not super hard. And to be clear, I'm just trying to open up your mind as how it works. People think it's a mystery. There's no mystery to it. It's a vocabulary and some things that you do with it. And everybody has rhythm. I swear to you. People come to me and say they don't have musical talent, they don't have rhythm. They're out of their minds. That's not true. You have rhythm. If you don't get hit by a car when you cross the street, you got rhythm. Cars come, cars don't come. Cars come, cars don't come. You anticipate when the car went through and you go through the gap. That's rhythm. That's it. If you're walking, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, that's rhythm. It's all just time. Right? So what you're doing when you're putting these words together is you're making a sentence that has something that feels cohesive. If it's just bum 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 ba da 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 bum bum ba dum bum bum ba da 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 da, if that's all it is, come on, you can do that. Seriously, it's not a big deal. It's a lot harder to do, it's a lot harder to play Chopin or Rachmaninoff or something, but even that is achievable once you start learning the whole thing step by step. So what I want you to do is play around with those three notes. It's just like, listen, if you played with those notes like this, let me find a couple of, I just try to cook up some other ways to do those notes. Oh. Oh, it seems I recorded that. Okay, the problem with that is that I had to disconnect Logic. My computer crashed. I don't know why I stayed online, but everything crashed about Logic. So I'm back on. Here's what I was trying to tell you. So we don't have any more piano sound. We's done with that, and it's coming up to the end of the hour anyway. Look, kids, here's what I was trying to tell you. It's vocabulary. if you're playing in a band, or if you're even if you're not playing in a band and you're improvising, you're making stuff up, start with a couple notes. You will get bored of them. And as I was saying before, and I believe that I was so rudely cut off by the god of logic, that Miles Davis had a funny quote that I can't completely remember right now. It was about making a mistake 3 times and making it jazz, right? So if you make a mistake, let's say I decide I make this mistake, I'm playing like, oh, damn, I messed up. All I'm using are those 3 notes. I'm using those 3 notes, and then I'm slamming the bass. And I slam the bass like that, not because I think it's the best thing in the world, but it just goes to show that you can do anything with a piano, and I'll bet you can come up with something else, but don't hurt the piano.